Sometimes I say, at this stage, you want it or not, your product is your business, because the more you kind of like have that acquisition of users, that retention, traction, relationship, that's your first touching point.
The most common cause of bad customer experience isn't that high tech. It's embarrassingly simple. Yep, it's answering questions. In e-commerce, it's really easy to get bogged down with common questions, whether that's, where's my package? How do I return or exchange this item? Or just to cancel a subscription. Solvepath is an AI-driven customer support system that enhances the customer experience with visual formats and self-serve technology to empower your customers to handle their own support requests. Get the best customer support system for your business. Get Solvepath. Get started by visiting getsolvepath.com. Welcome to Fintech Confidential, bringing you the people, tech, and companies that change how you pay and get paid. Jorge, welcome to the show. Hello Iconic has delivered software platforms and mobile applications to startups and even some really big names like Netflix and Disney, to name a few. Now, your background has mostly been educational technologies and the streaming services. I'm really curious, what got you to fall into fintech?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. This is an awesome experience. I've been building product for over 20 years, and Hello Iconic as a company we're on our 11th anniversary. So we started more on the media and entertainment area. So working with Disney, Netflix, Walking Dead, Viacom, you name it. The way that we came to the fintech industry is, one, strategically, we wanted to expand our service offering, and we were looking for different areas. I've been kind of like a very passionate about finances. I'm the finance person at home and all that. So definitely it's an area that I think I understand well and I like very much. So I always looking for numbers, methods, and things like that. And we kind of felt like the industry needed some modern approach to customer experience, so user experience. We knew that from serving millions of users from the entertainment industry. And if you see the financial services industry in general, before it was like kind of like some boring products or very, very simple products that serve a need, but at the same time weren't engaging that much with the users. So we wanted to bring that experience from a powerful user experience combined with a very solid financial services industry experience as well.
That's a great overview of how Hello Iconic has really played in this space. I'm curious, what was the first fintech thing that you actually started working on with Hello Iconic?
Yeah, so because of that, basically the first thing that we started was actually a user experience work with neobanking at the time, a couple of years ago. So basically they trusted us more on that side, so to speak. But that was our first kind of like dip into the water. That led us to more like another product that was more on the investment side of things. So more combining a little bit that planning of trading planning and all that. And then we got speed. So basically we started to do more financial wellness, neobanking, mobile wallets. So yeah, we started very, very early on more on just user experience, but then started to move forward to implementing products and then all the way to very solid and big products.
Well, you just mentioned the fact that you take it from the concept all the way through to the delivery. And I think you guys even mentioned some of the growth. How would you describe the overarching mission of Hello Iconic?
Yeah, so normally when a company looks for us, so basically the way that we position ourselves and internally when we talk with our team is we help innovators make products. And by meaning that is we help them end to end, from the conception of the product, the design of the product, the building of the product, the launching of the product, the growth of the product. Mm-hmm. So we take them all the way. Normally, what they're looking for, like when they come to us, is they do have a great idea, or maybe they're an established company that has already users but cannot do that modern product, or they don't have the combination of a product team, tech team, and at the same time a financial services, fintech team. So that's what we provide to them, that expertise in a fully managed team, but that is working very closely. So you will hear a lot from our clients that they tell us, well, you are kind of like our internal team.
How does that lend towards the mission? Why are you serving them?
When you start analyzing our clients, they tend to have a strong mission. So we have clients that serve the Latino community. We have clients that serve the Black community. Mm-hmm. We don't take every project that comes to us. Like we're very, very selective in that sense. But we like to work with companies that have that strong mission. They want to grow. They want to create an impact. They're serving their clients. They're passionate about what they're doing. They're very serious about what they're doing. And that's very motivating for us because we're creating products that matter, products that are going to be launched. They're going to try to get users that are going to expand. That's a little bit on why we do what, and we love what we do, basically. Yeah.
Well, having that impact and that purpose behind it is a really, really big thing. What do you think in the short time that you've been in the fintech industry, if you were to pick out one thing that you've learned from that short but very full journey?
Right now, the industry feels like a puzzle. We saw with fintech that it was possible to grow, to create a much more modern experience. But at the same time, for many of the innovators out there, it feels like a puzzle because there are many pieces that you have to put together. KYC, the connection to your bank account, analytics and data, the banking side of things, regulation. So it does feel like a puzzle. And depending on the market that you have, there are different providers and such. But I would say, I think that one of the key things is like, if you kind of like take a step back, there are patterns to that puzzle. And there are common patterns of solutions that you're providing, but with your touch. I've seen so many projects that we've helped launch that although when I see the people coming to us, it feels like a daunting task for them. It's all about, okay, these are the patterns. This is what you really need, and building that solution and putting that touch to them. Like, they can focus on serving that customer base, but at the same time, we can help them kind of like solve that puzzle. And there is there is light after the tunnel.
My wife loves to put together jigsaw puzzles.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of it, but when it comes to financial technology, figuring out how to put all the pieces together, I get the biggest kick out of it. And that's one of the things that I have the most fun with. With all of your clients, what opportunities do you see over the next 5 years for fintech in general?
We have seen the trend of the niche serving, like providing access to communities that have not had access in the past. That's great. And that's a great start. The way that I think it's going to happen, and we're already seeing the trends, is one, for those that are serving very specific communities, we're going to see a trend of expanding their services. So if somebody is started as a neobank, for example, they're going to start offering wealth management. They're going to start offering personal finance as well, combined with the wealth management side of things, or investment, basically. So I think we're going to see that trend of as those niche-focused companies start to grow, their users are going to start needing more services. So I think that's one of the things that we're going to start seeing. The second thing is, I think, for example, bank credit unions are starting to see, okay, well, actually, I could do this as well. Like, I already have a strong customer base, and we already know that getting users is hard for fintechs and in general, but they already have a strong community tie. They already have users, but they right now don't have the tools to provide like a great customer experience. So I think we're going to see a trend on modernizing those experiences, and we have helped some companies already do that, and definitely that's some area that we see. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing that I see is, and we're seeing the trend as well in our client base, is companies that are maybe on the middle market of financial services. Maybe they do personal loans or other type of financial services, or maybe other companies that are like, we're working, for example, with a company that is a mall, and they are kind of providing financial services for their customer base. They're not a financial services company. They're an established middle market type of company. So I think we're going to see a lot of those other type of services that are fintech based, the so-called embedded finance. But I think we see it very strongly. And so it's really interesting because those are another type of fintech. They tend to be companies that already are established, already have revenue, and they're kind of like expanding their product base or their service base.
With the state of financial services, banking, fintech in general, it's very disjointed and overarchingly just disconnected from how people want to see, use, track, and grow their money. What is Hello Iconic doing to help bring a better customer experience so that they can do those things?
That's one of the things that in every conversation we always bring about that. And people don't understand it at the beginning. Like somebody is just focused on, okay, we want to launch this first product and this is this. And unless you're in the financial wellness arena where you already know your product is about combining that information, the rest of them are just, I just want to provide a checking account and provide access and such. Mm-hmm. You cannot provide a checking account and have people using it without them moving, for example, some of their payroll or their revenue source to your banking account. Combining not only having that access, but having that other. You may want to know what other type of needs they have. Do they have loans? So you need to connect your bank account so you can provide better services for them. They can move money around without many problems. One of the things that we normally do from the get-go is try to explain them that the need of open connection and more information is really useful for their clients, and at the same time is really useful for them as a company. That's where MX, for example, it's a great partner for doing such because you already have like a really interesting data connectivity, really clean data, things like that. That once people understand and have a grasp of why that's important for both their users and them as a company, that's where we see that impact that we're doing.
The most common cause of bad customer experience isn't that high tech. It's embarrassingly simple. Yep, it's answering questions. In e-commerce, it's really easy to get bogged down with common questions, whether that's where's my package, how do I return or exchange this item, or just to cancel a subscription. Solvepath is an AI-driven customer support system that enhances the customer experience with visual formats and self-serve technology to empower your customers to handle their own support requests. Get the best customer support system for your business. Get Solvepath. Get started by visiting getsolvepath.com. How is Hello Iconic positioned to be a leader in fintech product development, especially leveraging your 360 growth philosophy?
Based on what we've seen is in the market and the areas that we serve, we have developed so much experience on creating products. So that's one thing. And we apply that philosophy to everything that we do. So an app is not just an app. It always has an essence. The founders created for a reason. That's one of the areas that we always bring about. The second one is try to simplify the go-to-market strategy in terms of, especially on the product, but also we can help on the rest of the strategy. So solving that puzzle of there are different services that you need to connect. That's another part, like basically not only focusing on creating a great product, but also connecting that in a very efficient, fast, compliant way. So that's another part of the area that we help them. And a strong area for us as well is a product is only like launching a product is just the first step. We always tell our clients that it's like, now you're for life on this. Like you launch this and next month you're going to launch another thing. And just so that connectivity to data analytics, both from the product funnel side, but also from the just understanding your user side of things. That's another area that we bring a lot of value. It's not only about creating that product that is solid, that is great, feels great and everything. It's also about understanding those analytics and that guiding the product development process after all. Yeah.
Looking at that whole process, tell me how Hello Iconic successfully delivers a fintech digital product into the marketplace.
A couple of things. One of them, we have a really strong process for design. So actually, since we have done it so many times and we've launched, I think we're on the hundreds of products already, if not more. I've never counted actually. So we have a really good understanding of, okay, this is what you want to build and a process to guide you to understanding what you want. Is this the product that you're thinking about, right? A representation of that. So we're really good at that part. The fact that we have developed that vast experience with multiple partners, multiple type of products, so neobanking, wallets, lending, investment and such. So we already know who to work with. We already have connections to them. So we already have a set of pre-established libraries to connect with them. So that expertise, the relationships, So I think we bring a lot of that to the table. So it's not only about understanding and what's the product that you want to build, what is that puzzle of connecting those fintech dots. And then we have a really strong process of going to market. We always advise our clients, don't do like a huge scope. I know you want to launch everything, but what can we launch in the first 3 months? Like what's that thing that it's going to create value, it's going to get you out of the door, it's going to get you users, it's going to prove what you want to do. Let's get users there, and then let's incrementally start building that product. And I think clients like that because based on what we heard, sometimes they go to other options and they want to just sell the huge ticket product, right? And those roadmaps that take a year or so, and it's like, no, that's not how you build it. And I think we have proven that it's better to what can you build in 3 months? Let's reduce that. Let's do a great experience, not a bad product. Let's do a great experience that we can launch in 3 months. And that roadmap, let's just cut it and then let's start launching. And then actually the data is going to tell you another thing. Like maybe that thing that you thought it was the most important thing, you're going to end up launching other things that are more valuable to your user.
How would you just distill down the success to execution?
For one is, do you really understand or have at least a hypothesis of what your users want and need? I think that's kind of like one of the main things. And then the second thing that I would say is how you define that in a product that solves the most important need that they have, so you can start creating a relationship with your users and your consumers. I think that's the essence of it. Like if you're just launching for launching, I just want to get something out there, that we hear it all the time, or in certain conversation, it's like, no, that's if you want to do that, it's going to be hard to succeed.
When they say, hey, I've told my investors, or I've told everybody that I'm going to be launching on X date.
Yeah.
I just got to launch on X date and make sure that it works as best as possible.
Yeah. Probably
not the best execution strategy.
I don't think that's going to be the best execution strategy. It's more about, okay, this is the community that I want to serve, or this is the users that I already have. What do we think is going to create the most impact for them right now that are going to create that relationship? And that's, I think, the key of that. Like once you establish that relationship, you understand the users both by talking with them and also by seeing the data. That's going to guide your product development moving forward and your business moving forward. Sometimes I say, at this stage, you want it or not, your product is your business, because the more you kind of like have that acquisition of users, that retention, traction, relationship, that's your first touching point. So at the beginning, the product is kind of like your business, even you want it or not, that's the reality. And then of course you're building a real, like a bigger business around it and beyond that. But at the beginning, that's a reality.
So we're here at MXS 2022. What do you hope that the attendees of the summit take away from your session on product development and being successful in that?
The session is going to be about creating kick-ass products in the fintech space. And we have a great lineup from MX, from Alloy, ourselves. So I think it's going to be a great lineup. I think the most important that we're going to talk about is that part, like how do we make that those fintech and those financial services product something that is valuable and useful, and how do we launch a great product? We're going to talk about things like when to build and when to buy solutions. And one of the key areas, I think, is going to be that there are ways to launch successfully and rapidly, but at the same time that you have to always take into consideration that there is regulation, there's going to be compliance elements to it. So the move fast, break things may not work in this space, but there are ways to launch fast without breaking things.
It really sounds like what you are hoping they take away from this is how to move their fintech solution at the speed of a bullet train with that precision versus being a bull in a china shop and knowing that they can get through the china shop. Yeah. They're just going to break a few things. And I think being the bullet train is definitely a much better thing to be in this industry.
I'm just going to steal that from you and I'm going to use it. So I love the bullet train, because one of the things that I'm always talking about is Everybody's talking about building the rails for fintech, but nobody's building the trains or the stations. I mean, I said just generally. I know there are some people that are.
Few are.
Few are, yeah. But we want to help build those bullet trains, basically.
If you were to give fintech startup founders, entrepreneurs, one piece of advice as they start their fintech journey, what would that be?
Reach out, come to events like MX Summit, for example. I think they're great partners in the space that can help you figure things out. Partners like MX, partners like Hello Iconic, that we have walked the walk. We understand the environment. We want to help. Honestly, like I've seen how MX helped, for example, many of the startups that we talk with. That's what I would say. It may feel daunting, but at the same time, this is a very friendly space. And I've been in other technology startup spaces, and I think financial services is one of the friendliest that I've seen. And you wouldn't think about it because you would think about a bank, right? If you want to be in this industry and grow and launch, reach out. I think there's going to be a lot of help that's going to help you figure out this puzzle. Yeah.
That's great that you say that, because over the last 10 years, that transition has happened, because it used to be about proprietary formats, used to be about holding that close to the vest. Anytime that you wanted to look at data, like a data format, you had to sign an NDA. Yeah. And now it's really gotten to a point where we're really open sourcing a lot of things to really give that access. Now, one of the questions that I want to ask of you, and it's going to be like laser focused, especially about what we're talking about this. Can you tell me what working with MX has meant to you and customers like Summa?
MX is great. Working with MX has been super important, both for us and also for our clients, is that MX is more a close relationship partner. MX brings extra to the relationship, having great tech for not only data aggregation, but also for the quality of the data and categorization, the financial wellness tools and all that. It's more the close relationship, the partner, the ongoing support, the account management, that advice, that connection. And we've seen it both for our clients and for ourselves. Like we reach out, it's like, hey, we're looking for a solution that this. And we know that's not on MX kind of like a roster of products, but you're like, oh, we have this partner, we can introduce you to them. Oh, and I mean, just that has been beautiful, because even now, many of our working partners are also partners of MX, and we met them through the MX connections. MX is kind of like a hub. So I prefer that type of more a hub of connections and relationship that just like self-serve. It's probably a huge value and the biggest value that I see in working together with MX.
Collaboration moves things so much faster and really demystifies a lot of the things that are going on in fintech.
Yeah.
Well, Jorge, we've had a lot of great conversation today. Is there anything that I left out that you wanted to make sure that the audience knows about Hello Iconic before we say goodbye?
Definitely. Thank you very much for having me here. I think it's been an amazing conversation for sure. I would say that if you are in that stage that you want to build a fintech product or financial services product, you feel that you have a modern approach to that, and you need help, you feel like it feels like a daunting task, if it's like a puzzle, I think that's where we can help. We would love to talk with you. That's where we're good at that combination of both innovation, but at the same time, that reliable product that can reach vast audiences. We have the expertise in this space. We have the partnerships. We have the expertise launching beautiful products. So we're here to help for sure.
What's the best way for them to reach out and get a hold of maybe yourself or the rest of the team at Hello Iconic?
Definitely always a website, right? So helloiconic.com. It's very simple. And you can reach out to me. So it's Jorge at helloiconic.com. Happy to talk I one of the things that we always do is us as partners, we have that relationship with our clients. So you're going to see that you're going to be talking with us, basically the founders and the leadership team for sure.
I really appreciate you taking the time out. I know the schedule is crazy busy here at the summits. I'm going to go ahead and drop all of the links and everything that Jorge just mentioned down in the description, show notes, all that fun stuff. So you don't have to go searching for it. Yeah. It's going to be right there in it. And thanks again, Jorge, for sitting down with us today.
Awesome. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Support provided by Solvepath. In e-commerce, it's really easy to get bogged down with basic support inquiries, whether that's where is my package, how do I return or exchange this item, or just to cancel a subscription. Solvepath is an AI-driven customer support system that uses a visual format and self-serve technology to quickly and effectively resolve issues, resulting in satisfying support experiences for customers. Customize a visual support experience for your e-commerce brands and increase your overall performance, enhance the customer experience, and drastically reduce support costs. Get the best customer support system for your business. Get Solvepath. Get started by visiting getsolvepath.com.
This has been a production of Diamond D3 Media, with all rights reserved. This is provided for informational purposes only. It is not offered or intended to be used as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. We strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, but will not be responsible for any missing facts or inaccurate information. You comply and understand that you should use any of this information at your own risk. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile financial assets, so research and make your own financial decisions.